You're listening to Africa Media Matters from the Institute for War and Peace Reporting. We begin today's program by looking at the challenges facing the African media in the Internet age. The subject was discussed at length at the recent African Media Leaders Forum in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Conference organizer Eric Chinje, the head of the World Bank's Global Media Program, told IWPR's Yigal Shazan how he thinks African media must change to meet the challenge posed by the Internet.
The wise media owner would want to start now, if they haven't started already, looking at their business models, looking at how they incorporate the new technologies into their thinking, and looking at how they prepare their staffs for dealing with a significantly changed landscape. I think we see growth in access to these technologies by the day on the continent. So it would be foolhardy to sit back and say, well, it's like take another 10 years for it to come around.
What lessons can be learned from America and Europe?
First of all, that traditional models no longer work. We see them crumbling all around us. I think there's a swing towards new media, towards the internet, or some hybrid thereof. And I think if there are lessons to learn, we can no longer sustain traditional media, and we cannot not open up to new media and new platforms.
What kind of models do you envisage being the most successful?
I wish I had that crystal ball and able to predict what models will work in this new century. I think the key words would have to be partnerships, hybrids, and consolidation. In a world where consumers become producers, producers are consumers, there's no dominant source for information. The tendency to have in any one country 600 news titles, I don't think it's a viable option at all.
The participants at the Yaoundé meeting vowed to end their reliance on donor funding. Is embracing new technology key to achieving this?
What's key to achieving this is taking on a whole new approach to the news business. Media entrepreneurs have to, and I think this was one of the great lessons of the African media leaders in Yaoundé, media owners have to take the tough choices. They can no longer depend on handouts. They can no longer depend on donor funding. They're surviving thanks to brown envelope journalism. They have to make the hard choices. They have to think through business plans. They have to work with financial institutions, venture capitalism. That was the great lesson. And then I think about how they can leverage new technologies to reach new audiences. So a deeper understanding of the market, a clear understanding of where the technology is taking us, and good business plans are the way to go.
So to any African media owners who might be listening, what would your advice be?
They have to be concerned about the future. If they're not, then they're working themselves out of business. They have to pull in techno-savvy young people who can help them think through the options. They have to then engage with financial institutions, with venture capitalists, fund managers, and so on, who can provide them the know-how on developing fundable business plans and strategies in this new age. They have to get going.
Are there any examples of best practice?
On the African continent, there's some interesting things being done by the Nation Media Group in Kenya. We can also look at the IPP group in Tanzania, the whole concept of Media 24, also in Kenya. These are initiatives that give an idea of where things may be going in the future on the continent. They're businesses that have tried to stay at the cutting edge of change, and that's how they are able to not only survive, but turn a profit.
That was Eric Chinje, head of the World Bank's Global Media Program, on the challenges facing the African media in the 21st century.